So the topic of today is paid promotion. Now, this is one of those controversial topics, once again, which some people may find uncomfortable to talk about. Content creators, especially, don't really like to talk about paid promotion because of various reasons, which I will cover, or at the very least, in my opinion, I will cover some of the reasons why I think that some people don't display the paid promotion message on their videos. Now, essentially, we need to understand the reason behind it and the reason why we have to display paid promotion on our videos. And it's all to do with transparency, protecting the consumer, and there's a little bit of legal compliance as well. There are many reasons why we have to do it. Some people get confused and don't realise they have to. Now, I'll break it down quite simply. If anything is sent to us as a creator, content creator, YouTuber, whatever you want to call us, we have to display includes paid promotion, or this video includes paid promotion, whatever the message is, I can't remember. I think it's just includes paid promotion. When we upload a video, there is a checkbox or a tick box. Now, we have to click that button, which indicates to the viewer that that video, however long it may be, 6, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, includes some form of paid promotion. Now, what I'm seeing on a daily basis, when I watch other videos, other content creators, other channels, people aren't ticking that box. People aren't ticking the paid promotion box, and they should be. And it's been going on for a while. It's something people don't really want to talk about. It kind of slips through the net. But anyway, the reason for starting this podcast was to talk about controversial topics. It was to talk about stuff that people find a little bit uncomfortable talking about, and basically it's to give you the honest truth, to let you know what is going on out there. And sometimes there's things you need to be on the lookout for. Now, I'm not saying you can't trust YouTubers. I'm not saying you can't trust other channels and only trust me. And it's not what I'm saying. But I'm very much into transparency. I'm very much into telling you exactly what's going on and, some of the things that are taking place. And channels not clicking paid promotion definitely takes place. And I have seen it recently where, for example, with the Relalo cars, channels are being sent samples from Relalo because I've also received the same samples, and the box isn't being checked. The box isn't being checked. If something's sent to you for free, regardless of how much it costs, it could be down to a $1 3D printed part of, for whatever, that is still technically paid promotion. You're receiving a product for free, which you need to tell your viewers that this is paid promotion. It doesn't take place. People aren't doing it. Now, I know for a fact some people think that because actual money hasn't been exchanged, for example, let's say I get an email from a company who want to send me an RC car, and they put on the email that we're happy to send you the product for free, and we're also happy to pay a fee. We're happy to pay $250 or £250, which will send to your PayPal account if you're happy to do a 12-minute, 10 to 15-minute review for us and put it on your channel. Now, because actual cash has been exchanged, in this instance, £250, does that now mean that it's paid promotion because actual currency, actual money has been exchanged? Now, yes, it does mean that's paid promotion, but even if actual payment wasn't exchanged, even if they just said, which happens to most RC content creators or any content creators, even if they just said, we've got a new product coming out, a brand new truck, it's full of really cool features, if we send it to you, would you be happy to put that on your channel? Yes, I would. It's still paid promotion because the truck may be free, but you're still receiving something of value. I think that is the key word, or the key words. You're receiving something of value to do kind of like a service, to create a video and upload it. That is paid promotion. We really need to understand, fellow RC content creators, please understand, it is paid promotion. You're receiving something for free. You have to tick the box. It can get frustrating because I'm very much one of those people that likes to play by the rules. I like to do things properly. And when I see others not doing things properly, it annoys me a little bit. And that's just the way I am. I can't change the way I am. I'm very much into doing things right. Now, that's kind of the basis of this topic. It's kind of what I wanted to talk about, the whole paid promotion thing and everything else. Now, let's just sort of have a look at some of the reasons why you have to do it. Because I think I don't know if everyone has read into the guidelines and the whole legal side of things and the reason why it has to be done. Because it would seem that most people haven't, and they don't really take much notice of it, and they just don't think it's important, which isn't right. It is quite important. Now, I've had a little look online. I've had a look at the guidelines once again. Now, I'm going to kind of read out what it says, and then we're going to kind of, I'm going to kind of back up what it's saying. Now, the first point I'm seeing here is the reason you tick paid promotion on a video is for consumer protection and trust. Now, what the guidelines state are viewers have the right to know if content that they're watching is influenced by a commercial relationship. Now, if a creator is paid to promote a product or service, their opinion or presentation might be biased. Now, this can happen. I'm not saying every channel does it, but if money has been exchanged, if payment has been exchanged, or a fairly expensive RC car has been exchanged, some, not all, some creators out there may be, they may say 100 good things about that product and 2 or 3 bad things about that product, because they've been paid and they may feel that they can only say good things about the product or whatever. Now, I don't believe in any of that. I don't think that should take place. The way I see it is, and if I'm ever offered anything, I will say to the company or reply to the email saying, look, I'll do the review, and if you don't like the outcome, tough. I'm all for honesty on my channel. If I like something, I'll say it's good and I'll recommend it to people. If I don't like something, I'll say it's terrible and it belongs in the bin or the trash, whatever you want to call it. But I have known of channels who will only say good things because they've been paid by a company or companies. And yeah, I'm not into that. If that's what people want to do, that's fine. But essentially, I'm not into that. Now, by not clicking that box, you are lying to your followers. You're lying to your subscribers or whoever's your viewers who's watching your video. You've been given something for free. You've been paid for free. You have to disclose that. Now, disclosing that allows viewers to make informed decisions and then, of course, maintain trust in the creator and the platform. It prevents misleading or deceptive advertising. Is basically it. And everything there, I totally agree with. You should be ticking that box. Whether or not it was, sent to you for free without any actual payment being exchanged, you have to tick that box. It's paid promotion. I cannot stress that enough. Now, in some countries, there's also laws and regulations behind all of this. I think in the United States, it's the Federal Trade Commission, FTC. And in the UK, I think it is the Committee of Advertising Practice, CAP, in the UK. Now, you're required to disclose commercial partnership. If you're doing a commercial partnership or if you're working with a company or a brand, we're required to disclose that. Now, that's in the US and the UK. Other places, yeah, I'm not entirely sure. But we are required to disclose any kind of relationship with a company or any kind of paid promotion that we're doing. Now, these laws are obviously designed to protect consumers from hidden advertising. YouTube being a global platform, it does have requirements to comply with these obligations, these legal obligations, and creators and brands are responsible for understanding this and, you know, sticking by these rules and these regulations and everything else. Again, it doesn't take place. Very, very annoying. Very, very annoying. Because it should be taking place. Now, when you look at how many US RC channels there are, and there are a lot of US based RC channels, a lot of them don't display paid promotion when they should be, because essentially there's laws and regulations in place to say that you have to do it, and they're not doing it. So whenever you see, you know, a US channel or a UK channel not displaying paid promotion, but you can quite clearly tell that, you know, everyone's dropping a video on a brand new Relalo on the same day, the only way they could have got that car is by being in that group of people that all received that review sample for free, which means it was given as paid promotion, but they failed to click the button. So remind them, if you feel as passionately about this as I do, just remind them and say, yeah, nice one. You know, you didn't click the paid promotion button. Why not? Or direct them to this podcast, you know, direct them to this episode and say, go and check out the More Beyond RC podcast where he talks about paid promotion. Maybe brush up on, you know, the reasons why you do it and why you have to do it, which I'm hoping I'm covering in today's episode. Now, let's carry on. I think there's about 2 or 3 more points that we need to cover about paid promotion. Now, another thing on the guidelines says to maintain a fair advertising ecosystem by clearly identifying paid promotions. YouTube can ensure basically a fair advertising environment. For instance, if a video has a paid product placement for company A, YouTube might avoid placing ads from company B around that video. Oh, okay, so if, let's say for example, we've got competitor brands. I can't think of a good example. Let's say Pepsi and Coca-Cola. If you display paid promotion for Pepsi, YouTube will not display advertising for Coca-Cola. I think that's kind of that's the direction they're going down. If you don't display paid promotion for Pepsi, then an advert for Coca-Cola may appear on the screen, which causes a bit of a mismatch of brand, whatever. It's not good for business, basically. Let's take a look at some of the YouTube policies. Now, YouTube has its own policies requiring creators to disclose paid promotions. When a creator ticks the "My video contains paid promotion" box in their video details, YouTube automatically displays a disclosure message at the beginning of the video. This helps YouTube enforce its own guidelines and maintain a positive user experience. Absolutely. And the key word there is policies. It is a YouTube policy that you display the paid promotion box, and anyone who's not doing so is breaching the YouTube policies, or the policy, when it comes to paid promotion. Now, people don't think this is too serious. I don't think people realise that you could end up. I don't think it's happened recently, or it may have happened recently, but I don't think people realise what could happen. Now, if YouTube decide to get tight on the rules and they decide to enforce these policies and these regulations, whatever you want to call them, if they decide to start enforcing this, it could cause some upset, later on down the line, because the channels out there that haven't done as they're supposed to do could end up getting a strike on their channel. They could end up I don't think it would come to a channel being closed down, but it could certainly lead to issues, potentially. I mean, it may not, and that's, because nothing really happens. Maybe that's why people don't care, and the mindset is, well, look, nothing's going to happen. I don't really care, whatever. But again, it's about disclosing things. It's about being transparent. It's about showing the viewers that you've got nothing to hide. This is a paid promotional video, but everything I'm saying in the video is still honest. You know, it's all about honesty and everything else. So the final point here is distinguishing between organic content and advertising. In the evolving landscape of online content, it can be increasingly difficult for viewers to differentiate between genuine, unsponsored content and content that is essentially an advertisement. The includes paid promotion notice helps to clearly draw this line. Well, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If you display the box, or if you display the message on the screen, it tells the viewer very clearly this is paid promotion. If you don't display the message and it won't come up on the screen, well, then the viewer knows that there isn't paid promotion in this video. Now, the problem is, again, like I said a few minutes ago, there has been times, very, very common, that creators have uploaded a video, very clearly paid promotion, and they haven't put that in the video. Why not? That's going to be the final thing we talk about on this episode, is my, as an RC content creator myself, with the main channel doing pretty well, we're sort of halfway to 100k now, and that push up to 100k is going to be a long and lengthy and difficult one, but hopefully one day we'll get there, which is like the ultimate achievement for me, because, starting from nothing and hopefully reaching 100k would kind of, solidify my future on the platform and my future as an RC content creator. It's kind of like that pat on the back. Well done. You've got to 100k. Now you've got a very long way to go, but you're kind of making it, sort of thing. It's just that little bit of a pat on the back. Now I'm going to give you. This could get controversial. And again, I don't want to upset other creators. I'm not targeting anyone. I'm not mentioning any names, nothing like that. This is just going to be my take on why people don't click the paid promotion box. Now, I have always done it. Ever since I received my first sample, which was from Banggood at 1,000, I think I was at 1,000 subscribers. I've always displayed the paid promotion box, because I'm massively into being transparent and letting people know what's going on and what to expect in my videos and everything else. Now, I would say the single most reason why most people don't display the paid promotion box or the message is because they just want people to think that they've potentially gone out and got the product with their own money and they're giving you their honest opinion. And I think this is what it comes down to. It all comes down to honesty. And creators don't want viewers thinking that because it was for free, that they're not getting their honest opinion. And that is it. End of story. That is my take on it. That's why I think people don't do it. And it's because they do not want the viewers out there, some of the haters out there, grabbing hold of that information, the fact that it's a paid promotion, and thinking, well, they've been paid to do this, so everything they're saying isn't true. And that, I honestly think that's the reason why. Now, I think that is just completely wrong, because I think you should be displaying the paid promotional tab up on the top there, the message. And if you care that much about your subscribers and that much about your community that you have built, and you could have a 5,000 channel, a 1,000 channel, a 500 subscriber channel, a 500,000 subscriber channel. If you care about the followers, the community that you have built, you should be transparent and you should be telling your community this is paid promotion. And what's actually happening is there's some large channels out there who are lying to everyone. You're lying to people. You're not telling people the truth. You're not being transparent. You're not sticking to some of the laws and regulations that you should be sticking to in some countries like the US and the UK. By not displaying that, you're breaking certain laws. And if that's what you're into, then fine. If that's what you're into, then by all means, you don't display that box, that message, and you carry on. But look, my job on this second channel is to give you my honest opinions, my what's going on out there, and again, this is just my take on it. You may disagree, and of course, say it on every episode. Drop that comment down below. Let me know what you think of all of this. Let me know if you think I'm right. Let me know if there's been times where you've kind of questioned an RC creator's review, and you've thought to yourself, has this guy been paid? Because I know for a fact it happens quite a lot. Let me know in the comment section. That's why it's there. It's there so that we can discuss stuff like this. It is there so we can debate. We can talk about some of the stuff that's going on out there in the world and in the RC market, in the RC community, whatever. We can talk about some of these controversial topics because other people aren't talking about it. When was the last time you see an RC creator talk about paid promotion? People are frightened to talk about topics like this because it causes, a little bit of backlash. And, I've said it before. So be it. If people don't like hearing the truth, then just click away and watch another video or another podcast. I'm all for keeping it real. I'm very much for keeping it real here on my channel. It's stuff that needs to be spoken about, and it's stuff that needs to be, these rules are there and these regulations are there and laws and everything else, they're there to be followed. Some people don't like sticking to that, and that's fine. But if you are, I would say, a very well-known channel and potentially a very large channel, you should be leading the rest of us. You should be setting the example for the rest of us smaller creators who are, under 100k, under 10k, under 1,000. You should be setting the example for people who want to do YouTube. They want to learn how it works. They want to know how to stay on the right side of everything and not get any strikes on their channel and everything else. You shouldn't be dishonest with your viewers, and you should disclose when stuff is paid promotion. Anyway, look, again, I said we're going to be covering controversial stuff on this podcast. This is why I started it. This is why I wanted to do this kind of thing away from the main channel, because I know that it would have possibly had a negative impact, because not everyone likes to hear the truth. Not everyone likes to know exactly what's going on out there. It's very easy for stuff to slip through the net. It's very easy for stuff to get forgotten about. And believe it or not, I've got a list. I've got a list of topics that I want to talk about, which people may not want to talk about. But look, I'm all for honesty. I'm all for building trust with my community that I'm growing. 52,000 subscribers now on the main channel. I want to build trust with the people that watch me. I want to build, a community who follow me and watch me closely, and you can trust, that can trust me. I don't want to be one of those channels that is doing things wrong and, not sticking to the guidelines and the laws and regulations and everything else. I'm not into that. That's not what you're going to get from, the main channel, beyondRC, or even here on the More beyondRC podcast, the second channel. All you're ever going to get from me is honesty. And regular viewers of the main channel will know when I review a product. If it's good, I'll say it's good. If it's bad, I'll say it's bad. And if I get an email from the company or whoever it is I'm working with saying, you shouldn't have said that, you were unfair, you said this, and I'll say, well, look, next time, don't send it to me. Next time, don't work with me. I am not going to risk my integrity or the community trust that I've built over the years. We're talking about over 5 years now. I'm not going to risk everything I've built over the years for a $300-400 RC car, just because the company's upset that I've said negative things about it, or they're in the middle of upgrading things and it's going to be better next time. Well, you should have done your quality control. You should have made it good before sending it out to reviewers. I'm not going to sugarcoat stuff here. I'm not going to say something's good when it's not. I'm not into that. And that is it. I can't say every channel is going to be like that, because most channels, will have their own way of working. But that's just not what I'm into, And I think that's how my channel has grown in popularity over the years, and because I am the way I am, I'm very honest. I will say things are bad if they're bad, and if it means that I won't get sent another sample in the future, then so be it. I'll just buy one. I'm not massively fussed, and I think a lot of the companies I work with have kind of learnt what I'm like now, and they kind of know how I am, and if I'm not happy with something, I'll say it's not right and go from there. But they still continue to send me stuff, which means they appreciate the feedback, and that's all they're ever going to get from me. Anyway, look, I want to hear from you guys on this one. You need to tell me what you make of all of this paid promotion topic, because this is definitely something we needed to talk about here on the podcast, because this is something we see every single day when new products are sent to channels and they're not ticking the button. We're seeing it all the time. It's an everyday thing. It's not just a one-off. It's every single day. So let me know in the comments what you make of this. Let me know if there's been times where you've questioned a content creator's video or anything. Let me know what you make of all of this, and let me know if you think it's important. Do you think it's important for a channel to disclose if something was sent for free on their videos, or are you not fussed? Do you not care? You're just happy seeing whatever the product is. Let me know in the comment section down below. This was a really good topic to talk about actually today, because I think it's definitely something that needed to be spoken about, because it doesn't get spoken about enough. And look, if you're new around here, I really hope you enjoy this new format that I've decided to start here on my second channel. There's been some good feedback over the last couple of weeks. I did the first episode, which went down quite well. And I did a few more episodes, which also went down quite well. I've also had some special guests involved as well. A good friend of mine called Ben, he took part, and we were talking about some of the sort of struggles starting an RC channel, and some of the stuff that you kind of go through as a new RC creator. We've also heard from another friend of mine called Gary. He is massively into his ready-to-run armors, and we had a chat about whether or not ready-to-runs are killing the hobby, because if something's ready to run, it takes away from the learning process sometimes. So we spoke about that. That's definitely worth checking out. That was on episode 6. And if you've missed any of the previous episodes, then that was the previous episode actually. Yeah, episode 6. What are we on now? We're on episode 7. Wow, episode 7 already. Yeah, this is definitely... I wasn't sure how this was going to go down, so it's quite exciting actually, and the list of topics is definitely growing. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. And if you've missed any of the previous episodes, you can check out the full playlist, the full podcast playlist. I did have the actual episodes in the titles, but someone a while ago said that makes it confusing. Just have a title and then have the playlist, the actual full playlist that we can click on and just go and see all the different titles. And if there's a podcast, if there's an episode, that we want to listen to, then we'll just click on that one. And that seems to be the best option. That seems to be the one that's working. So we'll stick with that. We'll stick with this format for the time being. In the future, my plan would be to maybe get the webcam on or have some video in the background rather than just voice, but that's still an idea that I have. I quite like this sort of just audio based format, because it does make it just that little bit easier without having to worry about including video and making sure the video works correctly and all of that. It kind of works quite well, and it's something I could do anywhere I go. If I went away for a weekend, I could take my microphone with me and I could still give you an episode kind of thing. So just having the audio seems to work quite well, and I think some of you are quite enjoying just having it on in the background while you're fixing your cars and upgrading, doing whatever. I think you're quite enjoying having it on in the background without having to actually watch anything. Again, let me know if you're just happy with the audio side of things, because this is very much like a radio show. That's kind of what a podcast is. It's kind of like a radio show. And and the good thing now is I can get special guests in and really easily. I found a way to just call someone and they'll appear in the video. So that's really cool. That's going to help me out with getting some people in. I've already got a list of people lined up that want to take part, and some of those are other creators. Some of those work for companies that I work with. So that's going to be cool. And I think hopefully this should turn into a regular, fairly popular thing, because not everyone is doing it. And when you find something slightly different that isn't really being done by many people, it can sometimes gain in popularity. So every time I'm posting an episode, it seems to be doing quite well. Considering I'm a fairly on this second channel, I've got a fairly small number of subscribers. It's still, each episode still seems to be doing quite well. So hopefully the future's looking bright for this podcast, and there'll be many, many episodes in the future, because I have to say I am enjoying this. I am enjoying just talking. Sometimes you need to talk, and it's definitely it's helping me with the day-to-day stresses of life. So yeah, all good. All right, guys, I am gonna go. Like I said, drop a comment down below and let me know what you make of the whole paid promotion thing. It's definitely something that exists. It's definitely something that takes place, and it's definitely something I think some content creators out there probably won't be very happy with me, and that I've brought this up and spoken about it, because again, I think some people don't tick the box because they just want their followers or subscribers to think they're being honest. I think that is basically it. Right, guys, we've hit the 31-minute mark. These things tend to go on for around half an hour, which I think is a fairly decent amount of time. So we're kind of at that limit now, so we're going to leave it there for today. Check out the other episodes. Make sure you're subscribed to this second channel so that you get all the updates when the new episodes are dropping. And of course, I'm going to be throwing in behind the scenes stuff as well, and any other sort of car reviews or helicopters, maybe planes, boats, whatever. Any of the other stuff which doesn't make the main channel is going to be on the second channel. Again, exactly the reason why I started this second channel. It's kind of a place where anything that I don't want on the main channel will end up on here, alongside the podcast episodes. So yeah, all good. Cheers, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you again on episode 8. Cheers.